And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. Welcome back. Bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. We got another, actually the first signs of June gloom, right? Overcast, a little bit cooler weather. It was nice, but I wanted to touch on a few things. One, the video didn't get posted yesterday. I apologize. My assistant was out. So what I said yesterday was, look, after the FOMC meeting, right, and they raised interest rates 75 basis points, the market had this initial bounce, and I said, look, I think tomorrow everybody's going to wake up and realize we still have all the same problems, right? Higher inflation, higher wages, higher interest rates, and they have nothing under control. So I was expecting a down day yesterday. We got that. And today I'm still expecting a little bit more downside. Today is what's known as the Quadruple Witching. It only happens one time a year. And it's probably one of the most interesting time for people that manage money. So not only are we going to touch on some news, right, but we'll get into Bitcoin's price action, some short-term price targets, and then longer-term price targets. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. All right, so starting off with the news here, what is the quadruple witching? The definition says it is a term that refers to the date on which certain derivative contracts expire simultaneously. This happens with 4 different types of contracts, including stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures. The quadruple witching date to occur 4 times a year on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. Marking activity on these days is typically the highest during the last trading hour as traders try to move on these contracts. So again, it only happens one time a year. The triple witching happens once every quarter. Anyways, this is important. Why? Because people that are in profits with their futures contracts, which I don't know how many people are, fortunately everybody at Bitcoin Advisors has had a very successful time of minimizing losses and even making some massive gains on the downside of some of these altcoins. So I've been really excited about the market. I think this is the best thing we could ask for. Everybody's going to get a chance to buy Bitcoin and other coins at a very cheap price. And so I think today, anyways, that's the definition of a quadruple witching, in case you were wondering. The next piece of news, we got one major Bitcoin whale who talks about support lines as a trader, and he says 14K is the most bearish Bitcoin price target. 20,000 is a keenly watched area, and yes, if 20,000 breaks, I do believe we're going to get a nice downside move. So that being said, his, I don't think 14,000 is the lowest it can possibly go. But definitely something in the cards. And I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you guys want to check that out. And then I'm going to jump into Bitcoin's price action right away. And again, we talk about this a lot on this channel. Bitcoin does whatever Nasdaq does, right? They're highly, highly correlated assets. The stock market is still a much bigger market than Bitcoin. And Nasdaq is the tech sector. It's highly correlated with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the technology of sending money anywhere in the world instantly, almost for free. And so it's a risk on asset. It's highly correlated with Nasdaq. So let's take a look at what Nasdaq is doing on the daily time frame and try and get an idea on what Nasdaq is going to do on this triple witching Sunday. And we had a bearish engulfing candle with volume, right? That is a given downside move. So if we don't get a little downside today, I imagine we open up the markets here Juneteenth. We've got a big holiday coming up, and definitely celebrate that one and enjoy it if you get the day off. Banks are closed, I believe, and so point being is the market spot price will be open. It trades 24 hours a day. The futures market, I don't know if it will be open, but traditional stock market assets probably won't trade very much, if anything, on Juneteenth. They might have it off. I'd have to go look that up. Let's see if the stock market is open. Is the stock market... Oh, there it's already, everybody's searching that. Closed for Juneteenth. U.S. stock market and bond market will be closed on Monday, June 20th. So yes, they are going to close the markets. That's good to know. So we're not going to be opening up back on Monday. We are going to be opening up on Tuesday next week. So that day, you know, I'm expecting a little bit more downside, even if we don't get a big downside move. And something to note is, yeah, we're not getting a lot of volume right now as the market just opened. I mean, it's been open for a while if you're an East Coaster, but what's going on right now is there's not a lot of trading volume because people don't really make their decisions till the end of the day. So be watching for the close of the markets, 1:30 Pacific time. I believe that is 4:30, yeah, 4:30 Eastern. Anyways, I think Nasdaq has some more downside to go, and I'm going to get some price targets based off of this weekly consolidation, this range right here, using the Fibonacci retracement tool, and you know, at a minimum right there, we got Nasdaq coming down to 10,586. If that doesn't happen over the next few weeks or days, I'd be pretty surprised. And we could get a bounce in the short term, but as things look, things are more on the bearish side right now. So I'm just overall angled to the downside. But how would that move get invalidated, right? So if we saw a daily closure back above 11,800, then Nasdaq's probably going to get a decent sized bounce. And, you know, we could bounce all the way back up to the top side of the range at about 13,000. But even that is not enough to call any kind of a long-term reversal. For a major reversal in the market trend, I'd need to see a weekly closure back above 13,000. Anyways, so that's, if Nasdaq's going down, I'm going to assume, hey, Bitcoin is probably going to do whatever Nasdaq does and probably get a little more downside action on Bitcoin. So let's take a look at, and just two other things I want to look at here, because it is the triple witching, and this is the quarterly closure, right? So every 3 months, these candles represent the price action for every 3 months. So this is 3 months of price action, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, right? This is a huge bearish candle with volume, going to be angled to the downside coming into next month. And the monthly close actually is closing in 15 days or 13 days, but the triple witching happens on the last Friday of the month or something like that. So that's why that's happening today. And if Nasdaq does close anywhere below this yellow 21, I'm going to be looking for a move down to 7,000 bucks. And I think that's totally in the cards. In fact, I think Nasdaq, if they don't get inflation under control and they keep raising rates, and we have one more little crisis around the world, one more COVID, one more monkey balls, one more crazy little thing happens in the economy, and this thing can come spilling on down fast, right? So what you want to identify, in my opinion, is where's the point of failures? Where can you minimize your risk? If you're still long in this market, and this isn't financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but the way I'm, I would be looking at it if I was still long in this market, because I know a lot of people still are. Where do you throw in the towel and say, I'm not going to give back 50% of my portfolio, right? I'll give back 10, I'll give back 20, but I'm not giving back 50, because it can take a long time to recover. So getting back onto Bitcoin, and I'm going to check in on two other things before we get into Bitcoin. The dollar index. So another indicator bearish for Bitcoin, right? Look at this quarterly closure on the dollar. And I'm going to get a measure move target on this thing, yeah? If we break this range, you're looking at a consolidation. Yeah, a measure move right up to $1.13. So we'll see if that happens. You could stretch that indicator out and maybe get a move up to 118, but that's the dollar. So when the dollar goes up, typically Bitcoin goes down, Nasdaq goes down, right? So, and here's the proof in the pudding, right? The dollar started going up in January and really started, breaking the range here just in the last 3 months. As we broke the range, Bitcoin has been trading sideways and down. So dollar goes up, bad for Nasdaq, bad for Bitcoin. Okay, now I will pull up our good old friend, Mr. Bitcoin. And where is my list? There it is. Okay. Bitcoin is 20,600. And let's take a look at the quarterly close on Bitcoin. So again, major bearish candle there. And remember, higher term time frames, the signals are much more powerful, right? If you get a bearish candle on an hourly time frame, it doesn't really mean much, right? You get a bearish candle on a weekly or a monthly or a quarterly specifically, that can be very, very strong, very powerful. And this thing looks like Bitcoin could easily come down and test this level here at, call it 13,000. So maybe that's where that big whale trader is getting his $12,000 target. Let's take a look at the monthly. Let's look at the bi-monthly. I'm going to put it on BLX index as well because that has the longest price history for Bitcoin. And yeah, very likely you close, below this like this. We're coming down to 15,000 right there. That could happen in a very short period of time. But the 2 month doesn't close. Oh yeah, 2 month is going to close in 13 days. The monthly is going to close in 13 days, and it's just barely wicking off this wick here. And again, if this region starts to break that $20,000, that's the last all-time high, right? That is very similar to when you break the all-time high, right? You're going to make new highs. Well, you break the last major support from a bull run, it's going to lead to some more downside action. So that's that. What am I seeing on the weekly time frame? Again, weekly is just wicking off this 20,000. So that, a lot of people thought when it was running up to 20,000, is it going to break? Is it not going to break? Once it broke 20,000, we're off to the races. And in fact, I think if we break about 18,000, that's when I think fear and panic will settle in. And then we get a quick run down to 12, 10,000, somewhere in that range. But really, if you want to ask me what the targets are based off of the last weekly consolidation, I mean, here's what it is. This was the range for 6 months between, yep. Wow, and that's where a lot of people are getting that target, 6,800. That's definitely in the cards, guys. That was the range for, let's see, coming back from, so Bitcoin traded, between 30,000 and call it 66,000 over, since December 2020, January 21. January 21, so that's almost a year, right? Yeah. We are, no, that's over a year. January 21 to October 22. No, that's not October. We're not in October, guys. We are in June. So it's about a year and a half. So a year and a half consolidation on a very high time frame, and we get all these bearish candle closes, and we get, again, one more piece of bad news, and it's not going to look pretty. So how can you get prepared? Well, you can do a few things. You can adjust your your risk tolerance. You can go short. You can decide to, let's say you have 10 Bitcoin long, you could put 2 Bitcoin short, just in case you're wrong and Bitcoin doesn't bounce off of 20,000, right? I know some people have the hodl till you die philosophy, and I think it works. It does work. It's proven itself over time, but not everybody has the stomach to watch Bitcoin go from 60,000 to 3,000 and hold on to it, right? So I would say this is a major consideration still. This $7,000 target right here. So I'll just mark it off. Just mark it off right there. And for me, I think, we could get a wick down there. It wouldn't be a problem. In fact, if if 10,000 breaks, I think we will revisit that somewhere probably 4,000 region. I think that's very doable because we came down there twice. Anyways, let's take a look at the shorter term time frames, because I know a lot of you guys, these signals on a weekly time frame don't play out overnight, right? It takes a few weeks. It can take 3 to 6 months. All depends on how fast Nasdaq wants to come down. Really, if Nasdaq wants to lose another 20% over the next few weeks, you can bet your socks Bitcoin's going to head down to that low $10,000 level. So I'd be keeping an eye on Nasdaq, the dollar, inflation, and what the Fed says at the next Fed meeting, and we will be tracking that all on our channel. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and get the updates. I'm going to jump into some Ethereum price targets and then probably wrap it up here, guys. Ethereum, again, I talked about it yesterday on the video, even though it didn't get posted. There's a target based off of the daily consolidation right here. And Ethereum's going to do whatever Bitcoin does, but more, right? So first target is at 856. And then I have a second target in here at, I'm going to move that down actually. Yeah, 628. That's off the daily consolidation. Let me see if I'm getting that off the weekly consolidation, which is from low to high. Oh yeah, that one doesn't make sense. I remember. That one's too much price action. So that's basically the last major consolidation. We could take a look at this consolidation real quick and just do a quick low to high and get some other levels. Yeah, I'm liking these two targets. 860 for a bounce, and then 633 is the next target down for Ethereum. Another one I'm keeping an eye on is Avalanche to the downside. Why I'm playing some short positions to the downside. I think that has a potential opportunity for some pretty nice gains, because a lot of these coins are doing what I call the full retrace, right? So they're going from their ultimate high back to their ultimate low, exactly like that. And some of them are taking out the lows. Matic still has a long ways to go down. Avalanche. A lot of downside opportunity there. But I'll just show you on the daily and the 4 hour kind of what I'm looking at target wise. This was the measure move off this ascending triangle, got hit perfectly to the T. We were watching that, and this is the last daily consolidation. And whatever happens with Bitcoin on the resolution of this range, the first target is going to be coming in at 12 bucks. First target is coming in at 12 bucks. Second target is down here at 8 bucks. So just to give you an idea, if Bitcoin breaks 20,000, right? Avalanche will have a 15% move to the downside easy, and more likely 40%. If you ask me, and again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at, my experience trading crypto, and what price action is done over past. And we're not using a crystal ball here to come up with a price prediction. We're using statistical probabilities to come up with a bias on which direction price action is going, and then using technical analysis tools like Fibonacci retracement, support and resistance to come up with downside price action targets. And I should give an invalidation. So we know what happens if it breaks $14.69. We know what's going to happen to the downside, but hey, where does that idea get invalidated? And very specifically on a bearish retracement, actually, sorry you can't see this. On a bearish retracement, if we start closing dailies back above the 382 Fibonacci retracement, then I would say this move is invalidated, and I would look for a move back to the top side of the range, and then that could be a reversal if we start closing dailies back above here. But this thing has so much, I mean, altcoins have so much work to get back to an even playing ground that I'm bearishly biased right now, so I could be wrong, guys. I'm not right every time. I'm just trying to do the best I can, and I hope you guys are enjoying some of the content, some of the video. Really appreciate your time today, guys. Have a blessed and highly favored day. Check in for the next video. Posting it probably on Monday, on Juneteenth. I'll probably work. So take care, have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon.